All right, everybody, buckle up, because
Wow.
today we're going deep. We're talking ransomware, and specifically a group called Vanilla Tempest.
Vanilla Tempest, yeah.
They might sound, I don't know, kind of pleasant, like a new flavor at the ice cream shop.
Right, right.
But trust me, this is serious stuff. We're talking about a group that is financially motivated, incredibly organized, and they are laser focused on one thing: profit.
Yeah, and they've got this really interesting, I guess you could say, calling card.
Yeah.
They've been popping up in Microsoft's threat intelligence reports.
And these reports, they outline in pretty stark detail how Vanilla Tempest operates,
Yeah.
what their tactics are.
And what their targets are, too.
Yeah,
And how they pick them, which is important.
absolutely. So let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, that's...
Microsoft uses this analogy of a relay race to describe how these attacks unfold.
Yeah, it's like one group passes the baton to the next. You know what I mean?
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, so it often starts with something called bootloader. It's a type of malware, and
Yeah.
that's your starting line, right? Bootloader gets into a system,
And then what?
and then the Vanilla group, Storm 0494, they use that initial infection. They use bootloader to basically open the door for Vanilla Tempest.
So it's almost like they're setting the table.
Precisely. And this is where Vanilla Tempest comes in, with their own toolkit. And it's a pretty sophisticated one, too. You ready for some names?
Hit me?
Supper Backdoor. You've got Mega for data syncing. And get this, AnyDesk.
Hold on. AnyDesk. That's a legitimate program. I think I've even used that before.
You probably have. It's for remote access. Totally normal for businesses to use. But that's what makes this so sneaky, right? Vanilla Tempest takes something designed to be helpful and twists it, uses it for malicious purposes.
So it's harder to detect.
Exactly. And once they're in, then they start moving around inside the network, using things like RDP, WMI. It's called lateral movement.
Okay. I'm not going to lie, you're losing me a little bit with the acronyms.
Fair enough. Think of it this way.
Huh.
Once they're inside, they want to get comfy. They want to access everything. So RDP, WMI, those are like their comfy slippers. They let them move around as if they belong there.
Okay, I'm with you. So they're in, they're moving around freely. What happens next?
Well, in this case, what makes Vanilla Tempest stand out is they're using something called INC ransomware. And this is the first time Microsoft has seen it used specifically against healthcare.
Healthcare. Okay, so we're not just talking about businesses here. We're talking about hospitals, healthcare providers, places that hold incredibly sensitive information.
Right. Patient data, medical records.
Yeah.
And think about it. What happens if a hospital's systems get locked up by ransomware?
They can't access patient files. They can't schedule appointments. It could be chaos.
Life or death in some cases.
Yeah.
And that's why healthcare is such a tempting target for these groups. The likelihood of getting paid is higher, unfortunately.
Because the stakes are so high. No one wants to risk lives.
Exactly. And what we're seeing here is Vanilla Tempest understands this. They've been active since 2022, by the way, so this isn't their first rodeo. They go where the money is, and sadly, in this case, it's healthcare.
So they see an opportunity and they seize it. They're adaptable.
Highly adaptable. Another example, they don't even develop their own ransomware. They use pre-existing ones. Like they're shopping for the right tool for the job.
And speaking of tools, we have to talk about the cloud, because this is where things get really interesting and really scary.
Yeah, a lot of people think they're safe if they've got good defenses in place on their own networks. But the cloud is a whole other ballgame.
Right. We're talking about services that are essential for so many organizations, businesses large and small. We're talking about Azure, right?
Exactly. And Vanilla Tempest has been known to use tools like Azure Storage Explorer, ASCII.
And these
These are legitimate tools that are used to manage data in the cloud, to move it around, to back it up, essential stuff.
But Vanilla Tempest finds a way to use them to steal data.
It's called data exfiltration. And they're really good at it. Because they're using legitimate tools, it's incredibly difficult to detect. It looks like normal cloud activity.
So even if you have the best security in the world, if someone can get in and steal your data right under your nose using tools you trust, you're vulnerable?
That's the reality we're facing. It's a reminder that cybersecurity isn't about finding a one-time fix. It's about constantly adapting, constantly staying one step ahead.
So, to sum it all up, what we've learned about Vanilla Tempest is that they are organized, they're motivated, and they're incredibly good at what they do. They're constantly evolving their tactics, using existing tools, using legitimate software, using the cloud itself against us.
And what I want people to take away from this is that even something as seemingly harmless as the name Vanilla Tempest can be a smokescreen for a very real and very serious threat. They're anything but vanilla. Don't be fooled.
Excellent advice. And that's about all the time we have for today's deep dive. Thanks for joining us. Stay safe out there.